بمليون بحر بشغال وضع اتسام بسما دانا تفرض قطع وآخ وقرا يفرقون أستنا نتخيطنا قوله تفرض قطع وآخ وقرا تخيطنا ناس تقولنا بايك الانتظار يأذن بحكم ما بيجب ساعة واجد اتسام بالله اتسامته حرار كلايو ويواتها إشاره على يصير الشيخانما يشوف الخان قريبا جمالي الزواج أخافوجي أحد شيء يعني عزيباج بتلام تواسين نازل كنت أذن لهم حراري الجميل لهم تدومون بتسين نازل جلسي دكتور أورسام أحمد اتفضل.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Dr.orsam Dr.Munib. Yes, I am a first generation Harari American. So for all of you guys that are on the outside, now that we do here, we need all of them to come on the inside, because this message is more for them than it actually is for the rest of these guys. Just step on it. You know, before I say anything, I've gone back and forth on if I want to say this in Islam, if I want to say this in English, but you know, the message really needs to come across to everyone in this room, because this is our problem. This is our people, this is our community. We have to address it across the board, right? So if we just speak in Islam, only the kids are going to hear it, right? But we need every tribe to hear it. We need the whole world to hear that we are a proud people, and we are not going to stop while these hypocrisies are happening, right? So it starts with us. So, you know, we all see what's on the news. We all see the atrocities, extortion, terrorism that's happening within our own walls, within our own people, right? We've heard the stories about, you know, water being cut off for weeks, and extortion for 10 million birr, right? Or trash being left out by our neighboring tribes, but forcing us to do something about it, right? And when we go to our government officials, we see little movement, we see little change. And you know, it's funny, the number one thing I did is, what do you know? Are you Gilso? Do you speak the language? You know, you were born here. And I was like, yes, I'm a product of my village. I was born here. You know, the first time I went to Hajj, the first time I laid my eyes on that beautiful wall, right, that 4-meter-high wall with 5 walls, I was 4 years old. And when I was there, I was a young kid, and you have to understand that we learn things differently than you guys did, right? We didn't have Quran, right? We didn't have that opportunity to you know, get hit when we did something wrong. We learned a little differently, right? But for me, right, I remember asking my dad at that time, Dad, you know, these walls are so big, and at night they're closing these doors. You know, are there monsters? Are there dragons that are coming and gonna get us at night? Like, I didn't know what was going on, you know. It's that same kid, right, who when I was in first grade, when my teacher thought I wasn't listening, and she was telling a story, and she said, you know, when the mailman comes to your door or something, and he does this noise, you know, what sound does that make? And for me in the back, I knew the answer. She thought she was going to get me. In my house, it was go, go. Right? But it's actually knock, knock in English, right? I made the mistake, right? Or when I was in second grade, and my science teacher, you know, I'm a scientist, right? I'm a science guy. And she was there and said, at 100 degrees Celsius, who can tell me what happens to water? And I was in the back of the classroom. She thought she was going to get me again. But I had her, right? Right? But she thought she got me. She's like, what is this? What, you're wrong. As a kid, I was confused. You know, I really didn't know how to differentiate between where I was living and where I was from, learning Amharic and Gesanam and English all at once. It was a confusing time. So when I was 11, my parents did one even better. My mom said, I'm going to take you back again so you can learn it the right way. And when I was 11, that's where I learned something different, right? I learned a little bit more about the history, right? About Sheikh Ahmad and how he was able to give us our name, to show the people who we are, to create what is now, after Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem, the 4th holiest city in the world. Building and developing its Quran gaze, building and developing its mosques, to do what? To teach its people, because he knew that education was the #1 most powerful thing you can give people. You give them a mind, they can do anything, right? Then she had to tell me the sad part. that this problem that we're having now, history tends to repeat itself. You know, she had to then tell me that, you know, years later, some argue 1550, 1560. I'm not a scholar, so I can't even give you the exact date. But we had to have another meeting, just like the one we're having today. And a very prominent leader, and you guys know, Amir Nur, came together, brought his people together to do what? To build that wall, right? Now, I know we're in DC, we're talking about building a wall. It's a little bit of a touchy subject, you know. But the first airplane wasn't built in 1903. So back in the 1550s, 1560s, this was a brilliant idea, and it protected its people. That's what we did, right? And so with the people protected, you know, with that happening, what happened next? Our people were able to grow and cultivate and learn, and our culture was able to be safe for so many years, until what brought you up there? Another failure of the government, right? We had the terrorism, we saw what happened with the tyranny that was there, leading to most of you guys leaving. And then what happened? You guys decided to do exactly what you guys were built and taught to do. Stay together. You came to DC, you built a group, right? We have Atlanta, we have Canada, you go to Australia, New Zealand, you have these groups, not groups of any people, groups of Hararis, of Geuso, you're not living in Gay, right? The blood is still there. And what did we do? We taught us, and you can see you taught me, at least one of us, our history, and who we came from, and what we are. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because the people that are there, the people who think they can get away with doing what they're doing right now, they think that because the children of Harar have left their home, that we are weaker. But here's the difference. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have politicians, we have mathematicians, we have engineers, we have computer scientists, not just in one place, but all over the world, who are now, for the first time in a long time, hearing the call of their people, right? So we won't sit there. We won't just lay back and say, okay, someone's going to do something. No, we're going to organize. We're going to get better. We're going to put it together. Now, I don't have the answer, right? I am nothing more of the product of each and every one of you that are sitting in this room now. But there are a group of first generations out there. Some of them sitting in the back, some of them out listening, and we'll see this later. We'll YouTube, tweet it, Instagram it, it'll all happen. But we are ready to fight it. We are ready to sit with you and to preserve what is our own, because we know who we are. You know, when I went back when I was 14, I learned the most important lesson about Hararis, which I never knew. I went back from Azad Ahmed's wedding, and when I was there, I was 14, we had the wedding, I saw the beautiful culture and the people, and it was amazing, right? But guess what I found out? I found out my whole life my name was wrong. I kept on calling myself Orsam, you know, like that was my name, right? Orsam Ahmed, right? No, my name is now Dr.orsam Shaki Durri Ahmed Muhammad Khalifa Ibrahim right? It is a Somali name given to my Yemen great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. A 6th generation Harari, first generation American. That is who I am. And yes, when he came, of course, we know what he did. He came and he traveled from Yemen, came through Somali. He taught the Somali people a little bit about his culture, right? He taught them about how to increase the payload. Fudella, meaning the rope line around the tail. Geri, meaning camel and so on. Taught them how to increase the payload of an actual camel so they can travel more, to trade more. He was a merchant, he was a genius, and he was given that name to those people for them. And he settled in Hazan. Why? Because of its beautiful city. Because of its beautiful walls. Because of its beautiful people and its beautiful culture. He found a beautiful wife. And you know what they say, I mean, come on guys, like Ethiopia is home to the most beautiful women on the face of the planet, so we know that. He was happy. Now, what would he say if we let all that beauty go away? You see, I'm sitting here today, not because I have an answer, but because I'm willing to say to all of you that are coming to speak today, I am a student willing to fight with you. And though I may not be ready for a seat at that round table, I am more than willing to help if you ask for it. Because one day, I want to be able to take my grandson, or my son, or my daughter back to that wall and let them wonder if the monsters on the outside are going to come into attack. Right? That's what I'm doing.
بارك الله فيك. يتروز أخو ديفيس ولد أنت.
مرحبا أخ ندخيتم إن شاء الله. حرر أمة خوت تلزت ونيم حرر أمة ظالب الظلمات موتلة بيتي كبر حالي ناجبة من موشني فرقانا بكرامة زنوا مصلحة زنوا حسن زنا الزوج تزمان بس مرزها من النبي نرجع مزكنا شانا إن شاء الله روح بذريجا دكتور منيب وبر إن شاء الله يتي وطن حلوانتين هذا أنما
Zafir कोई ले पाई थी अल्लाह बगन अस्सलाम वालेकुम
وعليكم السلام.
Sime Munib Abdul Wahab Wabari. But this is not about me. I am not important. Okay. Harar is important. Geishu is important. Culture is important. Heritage is important. The fact that we have been around for 1,000 years, and inshallah that we'll be around for another 1,000, that's important. I came here as a kid to the United States. So please forgive me. English makes us the sound.
Okay.
Okay? So please just focus on the message, not on the messenger. What's the meaning of Gaza? In fact, most of my life was spent in Abraham. أزودة أول كتاب مرينا شيلانيوم جماعة إلانيوم أفوج شيلانيوم. Okay. ولكن إذا يجيكما بحاجة جهة وقتها أحلى جنتهم. سبزهم يسوع كل زوج تكلم. كل زوج تكلم. كوا بخيرة one way or the other أحلى. I am not a politician. I am not an orator. So what am I doing here? Because there's the same fire that's burning inside me as every one of you against injustice. Against forces that are trying to uproot us, to dispossess us, to disenfranchise us. Okay? That's why I'm here. Harari's is an education. But people have always underestimated us because of that. We have played a huge role in the history of the Horn of Africa, not because of our number, because of what we have inside, our core, our strength, our ability to network, to form alliances, our dynamism, as shown that that's our strength. It's not our number, it has never been our number. Okay. But before we entertain others, we have to clean our own house. Each one of us is a tiny little stream, okay? Somebody with a big boot or a shovel can just dig us under, okay? But think what happens to streams when they join and they flow in the same direction, okay? They form a river. Think about the Grand Canyon. That's what a river does. A river doesn't get stopped by mountains, and it doesn't get stopped by any obstacles. It will go around, okay, and it will go over. As long as we behave like little streams, we will not prevail. Okay. So today I'm here to actually make a proposal about how to move forward. Not to cry about it, not to complain about it, but I'm here to make a proposal. Culturally, we are very communal. Even we are very and when the time is necessary, organizations like Golub, okay, we are very communal people. Okay. But the other side of that point, we're also very competitive people. We're very competitive. Okay. Competition is good. It leads to excellence. Okay. But there's a time and a place for it. Okay. This time is for cooperation. You have to survive before you thrive. Okay. So we have plenty of social organizations, as I just said. Okay. And in fact, there is a little confusion about social organizations and political organizations that I want to address a little bit. Okay. Social organizations are when you associate with people that you like, that you get along with, okay, that you associate with them to have a good time, to commune, and so on and so forth. Okay. And in fact, there is a law called Dunbar's Law. A social organization cannot be more than 150 people because your brain is wired so that it can't really assimilate, more than that number of people. Okay? Political organizations are very different. Politics is all about power. It's all about power. Okay? Your enemies have to fear you. And if you're weak, they'll bury you.
That's the point.
The power to defend yourself, the power to set your own destiny, okay? The power to maintain your culture, language, and heritage, okay? That's why political organization for us is extremely important. In a political organization, you don't have to like everyone. You don't even have to get along with everyone. Okay? The only thing that matters is that you're traveling the same road today. Okay? That's why political organizations do not have a size limit. You can represent 1 million people in a particular organization, right? Because they have a very well-defined objective. Okay? The objectives of political organization are defined in its charters, bylaws, mission, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, as long as you agree on the basic principles, the foundation, okay, and you work towards it, that's how power arises. That's how you gain power. And that's how you move together. What I'd like to do is submit the first proposal for a global umbrella political organization of Hararis. I am aware that there are political organizations today. Okay. But listen to what I am proposing. So the first proposal is to form a global political organization because of where we are today in our history. We are everywhere. Okay. So it has to be a global organization. The second is this global organization, this entity, has to be closely tied to a political organization in Harari. Think of yourselves, in fact, I have a good example. Think of a snake. Cut off its tail and watch what the tail does. Okay? It moves around as though it's alive. Okay? But only for a certain period of time. Give it a generation or two. That's what we are today in the diaspora. We are the tail of the snake. The body of the snake, the brain of the snake, is all in Harari. That's our root. Okay? That's the center of our culture. That's the center of our soul. Okay? So, the second point of the proposal is this global political organization. Now, this particular organization may exist today, I mean the organization in Harari, or it may not. It depends. If there is one, its charter, bylaws, mission statement, everything has to be modified. If it doesn't exist, a new one has to be created. The third point of the proposal is this organization has to be completely democratic, fully accessible to all Hararis. It cannot be controlled by an intellectual elite. Okay? It cannot be controlled by the wealthy. Okay? It cannot be controlled just because people happen to be in one particular location at one time. It cannot be controlled because people have a history of political action. It has to belong to every Harari alive today on the globe. The fourth point I want to make is this organization has to have global reach. It's possible today because we're in the 21st century. And we can in fact create global media organizations. Okay. It is possible. It wasn't possible 50 years ago, but it's possible today. Okay. We can create a very powerful media organization that's linked to this organization. The fifth point, this umbrella organization I'm talking about today is not to subsume any social organizations that Hararis have today. It has to work with them, not against them. The key thing is full access, full participation, and fully democratic. An organization that is controlled by the will of the majority. So, what I just did is just give you a proposal, okay, for creating such an organization. Okay. How do we do that? Qualifications. Okay. That's the first step. Agree on the foundational principles. Once we agree on those foundational principles, let's talk about forming the organization. We do that by a process called a caucus, for instance, in this country, or a conference, or a series of conferences. Okay. We will get together and talk about how to actually create one, and also write its bylaws, charters, and mission statements. The great thing about this process is we have very capable people amongst us. Okay. We have capable lawyers, we have capable politicians, we have capable economists, and so on and so forth down the line. We have very capable people in our midst. Okay? So we have to sit down and create an organization, its charter, its bylaws. Okay. So think of what I told you as just a draft. It's the first proposal. But we need to build on it. So, you've listened to me. In fact, we will make this proposal available to you. It's very important. Okay. And you can add and subtract to that proposal. Okay. And we can debate it amongst ourselves. And then agree. Now, some of you actually, in typical Harari fashion, may say, who is this guy to tell us what to do? Who is this guy? I haven't been very active in the movement. Okay. So again, let me repeat this. There are people who have been very active in the struggle for the issues in Harar, who have been working on it for many, many years. Okay. There are even people who sort of were willing to lay down their lives for the Harari preservation and so on and so forth. To all those people I say, thank you. I applaud your efforts. But I say to them, you will need me. You will need everybody in this room. You will need every Harari in the United States. You will need every Harari in Canada, in Europe, in Australia, all over the world. You will need us. You can't do it by yourselves. Okay? So, but I repeat, this is not about me. Just listen to the message. Okay? You agree with the message, act on it. And let's move forward together. So, actually, this is all I have to say.
أهلا بكم دكتور منيب. أحسن فيكما بدور وتر ديني مرتبا كان يقوت بذالة حرفاو أساس مشابه إن يمت إليه ملتاوى على الإسلامية قومي أكلم وقت زوز البيخ على بيستذال زال أقام هوجين حرارينة قدائي زوبي متواتل له الديار ربي مترفت زوما كله بقدير نتو زفانة بينا متلايا ومسياء يلدى الأساس به من أين به يا سمدنا التاوكا به وحمد به ويأخذ به إلى ذا الحراري سمديو على قذفانة به وقت فانوا مني ما جنت يلدى شيء به أستاذ محمد يحيى أحدث ذلك في وقنا هذا إن شاء الله وزرتنا رزقا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ميغل كلكم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
As Dr.orsam Harari American community issue موشة زو ما يناشو مفيرة زو بي وصحر بي كالبي بي اللما جن بايت لحشا يي سيمبوزيوم ل زيساتيو ثيم هاراري يونيتي سيمبوزيوم مغنى زو صلو بي بارتنانت لتا توبيك انتا إلا سو زو ما خوكتي بي جيسو ديفاين أشهد هذا الشيء متلياية ما الناس متلياية نبي الناس خير زنا وزي خشاج أتبتينو كوني كنت بيتلاقي كتا أدفانتيج نزو وزارو أو مفاجأة بزالاش بجيح زارونات بجيح أي زاروناتو موقع البنا جايب زيبورة ده ابتلاء إنتا ما يجسي سيتويشنو مكانا اللي نخشنا خلنا نقرأ ميقل موشة غالبا نشي أتبتي نتكاحل ما أفات الفاشسنا نتكاحل بازار بوغا وما فاشنا تينا بريبا نزل وصحل بجيسو إلى هوجي نروحزو بريزر ذا شيو دين زو بحث كده ترى عادة ملحد من برت زو بنت الله سبحانه وتعالى قرآن به وأطيعوا الله ورسوله ولا تنازعوا فتفشلوا وتذهب ريحكم واصبروا إن الله مع الصابرين. بايتين تحجير به أتبتي أتخونوا أتبتي أتبالو أتبتي تتقادل ووضعوا سيتويشن بزال خسا تفشلوا أخام تاخو ولا ميلاد تذهب ريحكم بايتي انرجي وتمام مليت على أزو أين سيتويشن بيتزال ما صبري موشة على البطن أحد نتحجيس بيا موشو أحد نتكفوي مديجة خشتا وخانك صبري بحمد سيشيو يا موشة على البطن ذات شيو ما الحجير بي كبراش على خشتا ذات شي أسحل بين انتزقان what happened to us how did it happen من أين بنت الديزي بورد نيو يزال شيء حجير جواب زو نجن يزالنا تاريخ زنا قرر وقت بزالنا تاريخ وبحث عشني وكذا كل سام evidence يعيشون نجن أزود الجواب لنا ميغل من انتزخاني ويشي جيسو مدبتاتن زو لأسلو بيأخذ قرر وفتاش بي جدير كونتريبيوت زاش الشيء حل كرا درب مديجة زور درب زديجة ساعة جاي كلاجاج درماجو وحشاجو radicalized زخانو وقتنا radicalization بجح قوي بعد خزيديش خارج refugee net زديش خارج خنو scholarship زديش خارج خنو على هو قبل زيديش خارج كان خوجرون درج بحمس زيد يا حدا ابتلاء سوق كل فاهما زيديش خارج انت مساحات فزور راديكاليزيشن الزو موفمنت وستبه affected لخانغاج بجيحة مساحات خو بعد خو بتسدد كما جيبوتي يغني صوماليا قرب يغني ميدل ايست قربوا يغني او اوروبا قربوا يغني يا إن بحمس ليها حد هو قبل زيت بتاعتن هو سواجد أمريكا زيتيج ناس متيو ملتامي أفكت لاشيناج على يد زحارة شو مزوج سو أوروبا يغني أستراليا يغني ميدل ايست زالة شغنو ساعدوا هوجلهم أفريقيا دشبني كذا سيتويشن بي ي experience استمرارية زال سواجد ما درج وقت به بجيح متلاعب زنا زديجة وشي بجيح وسواج بجيح كلاجاج بجيح تماري زنارة شو مساعدته professional زنارة different political faction أجستبوا أبزحته socialist orientations على faction زنارة بعد زنا بعد زنا لخير نتيجة عن إلزام نبيته جاي متيم عن على سوسايتي حساب ناشنال أجندة وما تخيل محمس تلاقي حدا بيننا لكن ثيري متبع يلاحظوا البوليتيكال أجندة جاي يسوء أخلاقه negatively affect أشبه علينا كنت ترى بجيح دبلاناش ب open opposition ويج يديروا زي كتير أو آياتو أخاشوا أخ كيلوما يتقادروا بوزال كنت أجترى أزوبي أولفا ما in fact ساعد التايبة بتري ياشو بوزال situation أحد أحلي أو أحد مرين ألاي مرين زو يتيك دي بازال إسحاد هو قبل إن فاكت جيسو أحد يروم أكتبت إذا قال له بيوما مدرجة زي ورا ده situation أنا لكن الزوسة ترى وسو زي قال لاشنا جي ولديو يقدر لي بازال إن situation فيس ببراح يستا يفهم وسو بتاعتني وسو بتاعتن ملتي ملتاوا أفاتي فاش نورسو زويد كحلي زي فرق سوزون بيرسونال زي بيشواج حفاي تيبل هيبل ولدي هيبل يا زوبح الساعة دينا إلى برنامج الزالينا مقررنا ملتي ملتاوا بيسكلي ثلاث كفون يلي تزال situation اكترفت آخر زوياو بجيب زو تسدد كاجب على سيد العاشا long distance بيسالنا أتبتي متكاحل نجيب تبادلنا situation ببجي حين الجابات تخطر أعزو generation جاب كتيرة أول زديجاج وتعالي زديجاج عمري زيو كتير زداج وويجاج أحد أين بيم رأي يجي يتكحل بعض علينا هو قال خلقها even كيسو زحارة بي وقتاي تمام بي social associationات يخلق بعض على فوش عينات أزوك زاد أين بيم بجيح ما تكحل زي تفرق situationات تخلقها بعد بين الزوجة especially بعد ملك أزيد حمصة بجيح وقاج أخذ سابع إنه نساقهم إذن جايو نساقه قرون جايسو أول حد تايل جوال استبينا بالجنارة أخذ زي بتاعتنا بيو situation of course نمبرون كذا لكن إذا تسابع إلى البجح بجيسو حل يلبوز على زاد كيستي ديزو روحك تويا بنتين براتنا أول جيسو جي سفر بكل في بمكات وكبار بنت زناري كل سامي ترى بعد خنتي أجمل أخازو كذا شيء يشي تمام مجليا زناديوا رأي زنا وحدزو يسمي الذي فرق بين خنتي وأبا باسل. of course migration مزايك عندي migration جاي especially وقت بعد كل حدا جايليت بعد خنتي بجي حين بي جاي ودرر أشياء جاي ما قصد جاينتي مع حكومة يسك عن أنت بهرم الزود بحكومة زو يليتي زال فراكوت زال وسؤال مدرخة بزو أحد ينتع الزو فراكوت دليل وسو التايم لحد ما بعد ما ليت المفرق زو يار بازار كنتي ترى خبا الزو بنتزخ أنا وفهم corruption سبيس جيسو كده شيء فساد وابي أول جيسو جوبو منسا جلوزات شيء دوك عملنا of course سلط عنا اليوم لكن جوبو منسا totally culture زو ناوت هذا situation سبيس اليوم جيسو أحد جيسو على جيسو اللي دلاغزو مدلغما حكومة سات opposition ب استعزاف سيرفيس مسألة زوزو راجع شافنو إندوجا شافنو كل زوج يتحيب رازال مبت زوجي تشيو زوزو موشلة محلك الصدق غير أشرحهم الزال كفوين سكول به برا استعلينا corruption متى زخانة أخامي إيزي كم يجي كوزي محلك جوبوي ناج وسبج إجراء طبيعة زوجنا وهذا الشيء فتم به أجبر علينا وقت هي شذا يمين أنت برجع كلتشر ما أول ويكند وايد مكتبة نار شيء daily habitat basically drug addict كنت توصل خانة دلاجة طيبة زي ترخوه مستزال مسؤولية زي كل في موشة زي فرقه خنتي به ترخبو ما زو سبب به basically federal حكومة يستجوز البجت وزوزو صح تككل به يويلو بوز علينا خنتي الترخبان ما زو فيلرز يوم من انت على زو يكيش يوتاشي سبب زوم حكومة لحد ما يستدعي تزال تجزياش الدلو and yet بجيب constituency عليه جايف زلتك constituency عليه الزولي services توزع شيء المنبرتي زول ثلاثة بزحبيه جايف زلتك منتي ملتاوا جايف وقتهم يكيش يوما جرجارة خشوا بوزا أو دقاف خشوا بوزا الوقت يزيد جسا أزود دقافا زي ست بايو situation تخلك ما خا current political reality زينا يبح مسألة لي عدا شيء تفز ب concerning the situation أسلوبه يا أخي نمام أخا زالنا بوكنتي وزالنا بوشينكي وموك على مفرق زينا ب زي الحساب نيوينا بفجعة بدي جمع جايش تقول له جدير أدقى بانتزال زال شيء كله سوم يوك على فرق in a way blessing in disguise يكون لي فرق شيء تقول له بأكنا بيوم نتدلك بحنا بانجر خيري شري مثلي خيري يكون لي فرق دلق بعد بيزان أشبح مصلحة لنا اتحاد نخلق إمام مدرية نكعني بازانا ما حد نليك بازانا خنتي يخلق ذلك هوني لي فركار إن شاء الله. ما solution ideas issue متخاطر لي most urgent تشيء constitution بعدين constitution they guaranteed the right ياش الزور right ياش سناو reclaim موش لنا heritage سناو right سناو reclaim موش لنا state right سناو reclaim موش لنا سبب زور state انتنا state machinery or power اجزنا بينبرنا allows compromise national allies completely نتنافى على الفرق أين وجد challenge عشان الرجال كنت على سو ليجل نتخاطر اللي بازنا كنت زال بيت زال شيء الحكومة بين international لوبي موشل كل أين وجد نتخاطر بازنا شيء من برتحلنا. Ally, of course, as citizens of Ethiopia, citizen rights, Zalim, Zuwachin, and Azolin, constitutional rights now, rights now, assert Moshe Nabibana. Hadim Nash was an Ashach, but yet, Harari institution nature أفوج يزيو لكن من أين الاتحاد مخلق نفرقان حديث خلق زعلاتو أخذ دكتور منيب زديجة وأين political action group يتخلق لي فرقان association يتخلق لي فرقان or even party يتخلق لي فرقان من أين الانت effective هنما كل سوم تبزوا بلحد ما إلي إلى فرتزال إلزال شين على الزوج السوم خمت كل عليك بزال شيء حلو آخر قربة international زيتا media جيسو media يتخلق أنا تو ساعات خطوك يكونال زال سماع خارج خلق وغيره international Harari media services لو زال شيء زك أنا نحن إيش يا حتى بعد بس أنا نشيم كان internationally زك أنا نشيم تا جوجل تاشو نتفرقه IHMS لوحن international Harari media services جوجل أشوف وقرأ تجني معه أخذ قرة broadcast موشان بيقلب international بجيل فيو capable زيتايو broadcast راتش محله different وجاش به جاي بزال خنتيو كابتشر موشله حل زوم مديجة لي زوجة زوم لوبي موشما لاي كاجي حكومة ليخني كاجي غازيتا ناتوا كاجي ميديا سورسياش محمستا سينانزو ماستقال اللي تفرق بازال إنشيار تمام موشله خشون حل ما in conclusion by the Ashaza unity zina 50% transition unity zina keep motion فرق نجرا وسحب به أخ حبل أخ حبل جروب أشبه مستزال شينتش يأينا به أول مليا يعني زنا الشيء تمامه ملوك بهالحدقنا وما من انت إلى بلنزال كيف نسينا انترست زنا جاي بزديج الشيء متخاطر لأحد أجري نكون أنا بانقرا الزور فزد كيس تشيل كوبريت متاجع أخذ زي قلنا وكوبريشن خواتي سبسبات so it's part of that mission يكوزال بمجوفة إلى البنات ኮሚኒቲ ሙቲ መልታዋላይ ኮሚኒቲ ናቸው መዞቁ ተዘዋዞ እጂ መጥሊያ أحد نقف بالي لفترة بازانا الشيء ما أحد organization على Harari organization أزوج تزوجه من أين ب أحد program نتكاحل بازانا program نلاحظ ما نقف لني فكرنا إنزال أين بمحيج حد بنا organizationات أتبت إنكم بازانا situation دخلك كرا نفشلا التواجد ما الزو ما تخاطر قلبنا من ناشد اللي فركانا حد من كتب ندل اللي فركانا يلزال تعسيبنا برنا تتفشل اللمجن السلام عليكم
مخيب أذان
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة
يجلسنا وتايم تمرين حب ذات زود مسكتان إن شاء الله صلاة وزوجين صغيرة عندك
ديجا يسناك الفيديو كفون يستغو فيديو كفت لهم ان شاء الله الناس سلام سكدانا اخاش يي فيديو بي انجوي شو الى وان دبك سبايك انت how are you مريم ما كفت لكم ان شاء الله فيديو تكونوا فتين تمام مبغو هل كرسي حل دو دبي يا كرسي على مست غشا كرسي ناس لغونا ما حركاتي يبس بالخوف
garab mo kana baadu yizil mal دين مزيدا ولا استلا حد منك اخذ يليد بدال ولا بقى وكر لا زانا
مرحبا نستخدم من القبانه يوحي جلازوك اس